Have you tips for people that are trying to write with humor in it? Because not everybody can do that.
Most people can't do it. I don't mean that in a mean way. When I say that is when you're trying to write funny, I think when you're purposely trying to write funny, I think 99 times out of 100 it's not going to be. But if you set up scenarios, if you set up, because the best kind of humor are just human interactions, or on occasion potentially like one sort of character's monologue as he's viewing other people, which my character does a little bit with Kane, because he was a wolf that turned into a human, and now he's viewing humans through what was an animal's eyes, and so some of his observations are kind of funny because they're kind of simplistic and almost childlike the way he views people, and they become really funny, those observations. But I really think that if if you like humor, if you want to write humor, read other people's humor. One version of it, like many authors do, is just copy that style. Just write a couple of pages, paragraphs. Hell, write an entire book. I did it. I wrote an entire book in the style of Douglas Adams many years ago. It was terrible. It was awful. But I sort of wrote it in his style, and that gave me a bit of a cadence and a bit of a rhythm. And by the end of it, I was starting to sort of develop my own voice. But I think that you don't go in the idea of like, I want to make this funny. It's just the sort of thing is if you set up scenarios, this is my feeling, but how I write, other people do differently. But you set up scenarios, you set up relationships, especially antagonistic relationships, and humor will come from that. When I'm writing a funny line, there are many times where I laugh because it's not something where I said, this is, I need to make this moment funny. It's just where suddenly a character in my head says something, or I can feel it moving into a particular direction. And that funny moment happens, and I sort of put that down in the editing process, and you go back and then you make it better. So it's stand-up comedy was the same way. You know that there's a shiny little nugget in here somewhere, and I got to strip away the bits because a lot of humor is just sort of getting to it, or just like the word order. I mean, you'd be surprised one joke goes from "huh" to laugh out loud funny just by moving a particular word to the end of the sentence or at the beginning. And that just takes study. Just read the stuff. When you read something, you find it funny, step back and break it down.